Now that the play-in games are officially done, here are my 2026 NBA playoffs predictions. Starting off in the Western Conference, the 1 and 8 Thunder and Suns. The Thunder are obviously going to win this series in 4. I just don't see how the Suns are going to win. The Thunder are going to get all the calls anyway. SGA is going to get all the calls. So yeah, the Thunder are dominating this series. Now for the 4 and 5 series in the Western Conference, the Lakers and the Rockets. I have the Rockets winning in 5 just because the Lakers are absolutely crippled. Luka and Austin Reeves are both hurt, and I don't see how LeBron is going to pull this through on his own, so the Lakers are going to get dominated by the Rockets. For the 3 and 6 series in the Western Conference, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, I think this is going to be a slaughterhouse of a series. It's going to be 7 games, but I'm picking the Timberwolves to do it. They match up really well against the Nuggets. They know how to control Jokic. I think the Wolves will pull through in 7 games. It's going to be really, really close. For the 2 and 7 series, the Spurs and the Trailblazers, I have the Spurs pulling through in 5. I think the Trailblazers could win 1 game as an upset, but the Spurs are too good. Wemby is too good. Stephon Castle has had an incredible year. The Spurs are moving on. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, the 1 and 8 Pistons and Magic. The Pistons are winning in 4. There's no shot the Magic are good enough to win any games. Cade Cunningham has been having the best year of his career, and I just think the Pistons are just too good for the Magic. For the 4 and 5 series in the Eastern Conference, the Cavaliers and the Raptors. Fun fact, the Cavaliers were 0-3 against the Raptors in the regular season, but I think the Cavs are going to pull through in 7 games. It's going to be super close. I just think that the Cavs are good enough to win this series. The 3 and 6 series in the Knicks and the Hawks, I think the Knicks are going to pull through in 7. The Hawks have been arguably the best team in the league since the All-Star break. They've been absolutely dominant ever since they got rid of Trae Young. They've been absolutely special. Jalen Johnson is having an unbelievable year, but I think the Knicks are going to pull through in 7. I think they are the better team, but it's going to be super, super close. To close out the first round, the Celtics and the 76ers. The Sixers know how to make it close with the Celtics, but I think the Celtics will pull through in 5. Jaylen Brown is playing like an MVP, and they have Jason Tatum back. I don't see how they're going to be stopped in the first round. And kicking off the second round in the Western Conference, I have the Thunder winning in 5. Again, like I said, they're going to get all the calls, and I just think they're overall the more dominant team than the Rockets. I think it's just that simple. And then for the 6 and 2 games in the Spurs and Timberwolves, I have the Spurs winning in 6. I think the Timberwolves are going to give them a really hard battle. They're going to give them all they've got, but the Spurs, I think, are overall the better team, and they're going to move on to the Western Conference Finals and break the Timberwolves' 2-year streak. For the 1 and 4, the Pistons and the Cavaliers, I think the Pistons will pull it off in 6. The Cavaliers are going to give them a really good battle, but I think the Pistons are going to pull through that challenge. And then closing out the second round, the Knicks and the Celtics. This will be a pretty close series, but I have the Celtics in 6. I think they are the better team. Like I said, Jaylen Brown is playing like an MVP. Jason Tatum is back. I think they will pretty much dominate the Knicks in the last couple games. And then in the Western Conference Finals, I have the Spurs beating the Thunder in 7 games. This is going to be a really, really close series. The Thunder are going to get the calls, but I think the Spurs will pull through. I think this might be their year to go to the finals. And then in the Eastern Conference Finals, I have the Celtics pulling through in 7 games. I think this is going to be enough of a challenge for the Pistons where they are going to fail it, and the Celtics are going to move on to the NBA Finals. And then in the NBA Finals, the Spurs and the Celtics, I have the Spurs pulling through in 7 games. It's going to be super close, and Victor Wembanyama is going to be your NBA Finals MVP. And then for the tiebreaker, how many total points will be scored in Game 1 of the NBA Finals? I think I'm going to put it around 193. I think that's going to be a pretty good prediction there. There'll be lower 90s. It's going to be a close one. Every single one of those games are going to be a close one. I'm going with 193. Well, there you have it, my 2026 NBA playoffs predictions from a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. I think maybe that pick against the Nuggets was a little bit optimistic, but I think they do match up well against the Nuggets. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again in the 2027 NBA playoffs.